Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to welcome you all to our Dania Beach City Commission hybrid regular meeting. Today is Tuesday, October 25th. It is 7 o'clock p.m. Call the roll, please. Here. Oh, sorry. I forgot all about this.
Here, here,
Here.
here.
Here. Thank you. Can you please all bow your heads for a moment of silence? Thank you. And can you please stand for the pledge? Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. First, we're going to our presentations and special event approvals. We have the artwork presentation installation by Mr. Joe Milton, CEO of Milton and Associates. Come on down. I thought Lewis was going to come with you, but
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and Commissioners. It's a pleasure to be here tonight. Joseph Milton, 601 East Dania Beach Boulevard. The Going back a couple of years, I had the pleasure of working with Mark LaFerriere. Hopefully, I didn't kill that last name, but
the Ferrier is fine.
yeah. But it was great to work with him when he talked to me about public art. The reason is because I'm passionate about public art, and this will be the third monumental piece we've put into public spaces in South Florida. We did it with the city of Miami. We did it with Sunny Isles Beach, and now we're going to do it with Dania Beach. So it's very exciting to see it work, and it's very exciting to be the first person participating in the public art program here in Dania Beach Boulevard. So I also had a chance to come up with different ideas and share them with each one of you. And with the great feedback I got from all of you, we were able to come up with I thought was the perfect artist, and it's Wyland. Wyland is a fantastic, world-renowned artist of nature and a conservationist for all marine life and beaches, and he's just an amazing person. He has committed to build 100 monumental statues globally, and currently the one you see on the screen was built in 2008. And that was for the Beijing Olympics, and it's called Faster, Higher, and Stronger. The next one, the next slide, there it is. The next slide was came and it was exposed this past year in June of 2021 in the icy Strait of Alaska, and it's called Orca Dream. That's actually the size of a real orca, a killer whale, and it's about 25 feet in length. The orca on that statue, and it's right at the entrance of that icy strait where all the cruise ships come in and out. So it's a beautiful piece. And then we started to talk about this one. He got so excited that I'm going to let him say it in his own words. If we could have the video from Wyland.
Give us a moment.
That's him.
Hi everyone, I'm Wyland right here at my home in the Florida Keys in Islamorada, and just want to thank you all for supporting my newest sculpture. I'm doing a series of 100 monumental sculptures featuring endangered and threatened species from the UN Red List. This one's going to be spectacular. It's the green sea turtle, and it's monumental, and I'm very excited about it. Also beautiful elkhorn and staghorn coral, a lot of the beautiful fish that we see here in Florida. And as a diver, it really represents what we're trying to protect here in the Florida waters. So congratulations, Dania Beach, and thank you very much, everyone. I look forward to being there at the official ceremony when we unveil it. Okay, big aloha and congratulations. Thanks.
He has that big aloha because he spends about half of his time in Hawaii. He has a beautiful house over his studio in Maui. So he is very excited. He's very excited, and the statue has been designed with the concept of what you see out here on your beach. You go diving, which he's an avid diver. You see this same type of sea turtle, coral, and fish, and it will be the first monumental statue in the continental USA. It'll be here in Dania Beach. So, and it's called Sea Turtle Beach. Hope you love it.
Thank you so much, Mr. Milton. I can appreciate the way you listen to comments about the first piece of art that was brought here and how you went back and did your due diligence and you worked to bring us something that is iconic here in our city and something that is like I like to say Instagrammable moment, a moment that and you are the first
Yeah.
of these series that are going to be coming from developers and you have set the bar really high for anyone else that's going to walk through these doors and ask us for an approval of any kind of art that is going to be displayed in our city. And so, I, you are a man of great quality. You've shown that, and I'm in love with the art piece, and I appreciate it. So,
Thank you.
thank you
Thank
so
you.
much,
Thank you so much.
Commissioner Davis.
Yes, thank you so much, Mr. Milton. And thank you, Wyland, for giving us that wonderful personal message. That was really, really special for this to be the absolute first piece in the United States. For us to be the third sculpture out of 100, that is just something that is truly going to be put us on the map. And that is what, that's what we're here to do. That's what we put in our plan. And I want to also thank Lewis for coming to the Public Art Advisory Board and following the processes that we put in place to really, make sure that we have a quality art program. Can you just let us know, because this is the board was so excited, the praise cost for the sculpture?
This is going to be and right now he has it at an estimate. Now we got to start getting into the details because he has. I mean, the turtle's 15 feet long. That's why I had that piece of plywood. Have you seen that piece of plywood that looks like a billboard on the corner?
Yeah.
That's the size of the statue. It's 15 feet high, and the turtle's 15 feet long. So he's got to figure out how to hold that up structurally. We got to create a foundation with pilings to carry it. It's substantially heavy, and then we build a beach all around it,
Yeah.
which cascades around this whole mosaic wall, which feels like an ocean with all natural planting that you would see on the beach. So the statue will come in between 850 to $1 million.
Thank you. And that's what the board was really, really excited about,
Yeah.
that this is the top quality and
Oh
it's
yeah.
going to be the beacon that leads to the beach. And we're trying to elevate everything that is one day Beach Boulevard all the way to the beach. So thank you so much for
Right on.
bringing top quality to the city.
Right
Appreciate
on.
it.
Well,
Thank you,
all right. Thank you.
Commissioner Llewellyn. One more second, Commissioner Llewellyn.
One thing real quick, Mr. Milton. I also want to commend you on I know that when you choose things like this for your projects, my understanding is that you do choose things that are unique to the character of the place where you are. And I do appreciate the turtles because we are known for the turtles on the
Yeah.
beach. So this is especially very telling and it's very sweet. So it lets people know that we do have the turtles on the beach. So I want to say thank you for that.
Thank you.
All
You
right.
can go now. Next, we have a presentation to Commissioner Lauren Ottman from Commissioner Lori Llewellyn.
All right. I'm coming down.
So, a couple of months ago, I was realizing we were getting closer and closer to the end of 4 years that Commissioner Odman and I first began this journey together. And I wanted to do something nice for her on behalf of the city to thank her because she's decided not to seek reelection, so she's going to be leaving us. And I wanted to thank her for her hard work over the last 4 years and acknowledge the fact that I know that she's been very passionate about certain things, um, some of which I have been on the same side with, some of which I haven't. But at the same time, I wanted to make sure that we acknowledged her, and I wanted to thank her for her efforts, and especially in the areas of environmental issues, in the areas of the Historic Society, which is now really starting to thrive, as well as the public art and art in general. So, with that, I asked to put something together, which I have right here, and it's heavy. This is not a traditional type of thing that we would give to somebody, but Commissioner Oddman has not been a traditional type of politician either. So I thought it would be appropriate to bring something to her that would, I thought she would appreciate, which is this piece of art. It's also can be used as a vase. And it says, presented to Commissioner Lauren Oddman in recognition for your leadership, vision, and guidance on the Dania Beach City Commission. We thank you for your commitment to public service. Come on down.
I'll come down now.
Yes.
Very pretty. Very pretty. Speech, speech, speech.
This is so beautiful. Thank you. And it's rainbow, which I love. Gosh, I didn't expect to feel very sentimental about this. But in the last 4 years, we have spent a lot of time together, and sometimes more time together than I spent with my kid or with my husband. Well, that's probably why he's my ex-husband now. But it's been a long 4 years, but it's been a great 4 years. And especially around the holidays, I do kind of a review of my life. I've had a really interesting, rich, crazy life, and I will definitely look back on these 4 years fondly. This was a great chapter. This was a crazy chapter with a lot of different seasons, a lot of memories, a lot of gratitude, and a lot of uh, a lot of really good moments. So, uh, good luck to you guys, and keep doing good things with the city. Thank you.
You're not one and done here.
Nope, nope, I will be there.
Right now? Okay. And we're gonna roll on right into the next presentation. So, Commissioner Oddman, I wanted to take a special privilege, and thank you, Mayor, for granting it to me. Um, I wouldn't be standing here as your city manager if it wasn't for several people here that are sitting on this dais, some that are not. But my first interview was with you, and from day one we hit it off, and then I became your manager, and then we talked about aesthetics, and we talked about our atrium, and I remember you addressing the commission, and you were appointed as the aesthetics person to handle the renovation of the atrium, and pretty much the first floor of City Hall and the commission chambers. And
we worked so hard to be able to turn this into a space that we could all be proud of. And then it went on and on to so many different projects, like Commissioner Llewellyn said, art in public places, historical preservation, planning the 115th birthday of the city, and your passion and your support. And we didn't always agree, but we were always respectful of each other. And you always stood by me, despite some things, but because of most. And on behalf of myself, my wingman Candido Sosa Cruz, the department directors here in the city and in our city team, we wanted to send you off with some tokens of our appreciation, some of which are from our city store, which was another passion of yours, the city store. So you can be wearing the city paraphernalia,
I
you
will.
know,
I
up
will.
in your new neck of the woods. So please join us. Can you? So here are some, like the mayor says, there are more gifts to come. But these are some of. You want to talk about some of these parting gifts, Linda? Our HR department they're in charge of the parting gifts.
Yes. And now your parting gifts.
Your parting gifts.
Let's see, we have visors in different colors. We have an insulated water bottle. We have a Dania Beach bag. We have another water bottle. We have Dania Beach postcards. We have a Dania Beach luggage tag, a Dania Beach hoodie, a Dania Beach 3/4 tee, and let's see, a Dania Beach pen, just in case, so you'll never forget us ever, because we love you. So.
Oh God. Sorry. Surely photobombed that. For those rainy days in a lot. Your mic is on. You wanna?
May I really quick? Thank you so much. And I really am excited about that hoodie and umbrella. And so in my excitement, and I'll probably have more during commissioner comments, but I'm going to take this opportunity real quick, since no one would probably shut me up, to say thank you to so many people. I can't believe I almost didn't say thank you to. So probably Corinne, it started with Corinne, planning and zoning, answering some really dumb questions and helping me along the way understand a lot of stuff that hopefully made me a decent or competent commissioner. Our city clerk always being so helpful and again answering a bunch of crazy emails. I've gotten to watch Eleanor. Eleanor, you've been so wonderful to watch. How much you've changed over 4 years. There's like times over here where you're doing you're talking up there and I'm just like rooting for you because I just have seen like I've just watched you grow into this even more amazing person than you were. And I'm always so proud of you. It makes me cry. Katya, you as well. I remember the first time I saw you, it was like when I was campaigning and you were balanced on something, taking pictures of a junk sculpture. I thought you were gonna fall off. And I told you that and you're like, life is fun. And you were so crazy and fun and lighthearted. And you've brought all that to your work and you're your wonderful way of looking at the world that's so peaceful and exciting at the same time. And it's been really wonderful knowing you after the past couple of years. Uh, Linda, thank you so much for everything. Everyone in HR, everyone over in the CRA, there's just too many darn people. I'll talk about you guys at the end, Commissioner comments, but just thank you. This doesn't all happen um, without having people to kind of help you along the way and understand things along the way. And I'm really really grateful. So thank you all, and thank you for the hoodie. Okay.
All right, well, we'll move on to proclamations. First proclamation. Hold on 1 second. Here we go. First proclamation is for Family Court Awareness Month.
Mayor,
Oh,
Mayor.
I forgot Marco.
Linda has another
you,
presentation
Mark.
of sorts.
I thought that, I actually was at the Human Resources presentation. Yes or no? Oh, it's a different, that's, okay, go ahead. See, I thought that was that presentation.
Good evening, everyone. I am here to ask you to join me in welcoming our new HR Deputy Director, Miss Ann Mears. We're just thrilled she's here. So Ann comes to us with a wealth of HR experience. She has over 20 years of HR experience. She's worked in international and national companies, and she has worked across the United States with different companies and bringing banking experience, technology experience, different industries in HR. Most recently, she comes to us from Broward Schools, which has around 35,000 or so employees. So she's coming to us very, very qualified for the job, and she's a very strategic leader. We're very excited to have her here. She also joined us recently when we had our management retreat not too long ago, before she even started. So she had an opportunity to meet our management team. They had an opportunity to meet her, and I think it's just a wonderful fit. We're just very pleased she's here, and I just wanted to give her an opportunity to say hello.
Hello again, good evening. So it was very nice meeting all of you. I'm really, really excited about being here. I had a great time at the retreat. Thank you for inviting me. I look forward for everything the city had to offer. Really, really impressed. Really, really impressed. So hopefully I'm hoping to retire from this place. So thank you for all the knowledge that you shared earlier. Thank you so much. I'm really grateful. Well, welcome. I see the sticky pad. Maxine, don't kill me. I have the sticky pad. Next, we will have the add-on presentation 3.4 from our Vice Mayor.
Hello,
Hi.
I think Maxine's, there's gonna be a video to start it off. Then we'll talk about it. Presentation has to do with our employee appreciation barbecue picnic. Really?
Please hold.
Anyways, I was very happy to put together an employee appreciation picnic, barbecue picnic for the employees with the support of the commission and all the staff that's out there. We had a great day. The weather was absolutely gorgeous. Couldn't ask for a better day. We had probably, I'm guessing, a couple hundred people show up. Uh, we had our sponsors, Cliffberry Inc., who supplied. Um, First, I was going to put this out of my contingency, but as soon as I started talking to the donors, Cliffberry paid for all the meat and corn on the cob and all the fixins and hot dogs and chicken and everything else. And he brought us not only that, but they brought their whole staff, all the machines, all the equipment, and prepared all the food at no charge to the city and the employees. So I want to give a big reach out and thank you to Cliff Berry and all his staff, John and all the people that helped him out. We also had from Kush Living, they donated their get. I was going to do it. All my contingency was going to be there, but they came up and they paid for bounce houses. They had 2 bounce houses. They had the video where they spin around like that. And it was a 360 video taking pictures of everybody having a great time. Face painting by Amy. She did a great job out there. Some of the best face painting I've ever seen. And I'm not sure. Oh, and then a petting zoo that they put out. So they put out a lot there. And then, of course, Lewis and Mr. Milton back there. Again, thank you very much for your contribution towards our prizes that the employees, I'm sure, were very pleased to have. There was a lot of nice prizes, and we also had a lot of donations as well. I can't thank the staff enough for putting it all together for us. Um, you know who worked the hardest, I'm sure, and everybody always knows Maxine. So, but putting that together, we had a great day out there. I don't know if I'm forgetting anything or not. We had, they had the ice cream truck out there as well. Am I forgetting anything, City Manager? We had a DJ. They were singing out there, and as you saw, dancing and everything. I mean, the people were having a great time. Picking the kids. What I liked the most is it was a great day for families to come out there and bring their kids. With the petting zoo and the face paint, it's like going to a little mini circus or a little mini carnival. It didn't cost them a cent, and they all had a great time. And that just goes to show you some of the things that we're doing in the city. That why our staff is done such a great job. They appreciate what we do for them, and we sure do appreciate what they do for us. I want to thank all the staff and all the city workers, and I can tell you that it will be on my agenda to do it again next year for the city employees. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Davis?
Oh, 1 second. Go ahead. I just want to give kudos to the vice mayor and thank him for having such a wonderful idea for bringing this forward to the city. It really was just a wonderful family event that everybody had a great time. So I just really want to thank him and thank all of you for what you do for us each and every day. Thank you.
Commissioner Llewellyn?
Yes, thank you. I also wanted to thank the employees for everything you do every day. And I'm glad there was an opportunity to enjoy it. I actually had a wedding that day, so I went to the wedding, and then before the reception, we stopped in for a little bit to check it out. I missed the petting zoo, unfortunately, and I missed meeting Gracie, who is our city attorney's dog, who I feel like I know from all kinds of pictures and stuff. And I missed quite a few of the employees, but there was still a nice crowd that was still there later in the afternoon. So it was good to see everybody enjoying themselves and really just getting a chance to hang out together and relax and not worry about work. So thank you again for what you do. And thank you, Vice Mayor, for putting that together.
Thank you. And now we'll go on to our proclamations. First, we have the Family Court Awareness Month, which reads, whereas the family court system is failing to protect children, parental rights currently trump child safety. The system was established to govern family law cases and make decisions that are in the best interest of children, has shortcomings that warrant awareness, conversations, solutions, and change. And whereas in May 2021, 3-year-old Grayson Kessler from Broward County was killed by his biological father during an approved court visit, despite his history of abusive behavior and mother's pleas to the court to protect him. And whereas City of Dania Beach is proud to honor Grayson Kessler and all of the 75 children who have been murdered by divorcing or separating parents in Florida, who are a part of the 58,000 U.S. children at risk annually due to being court ordered into unsupervised visitation with an abusive parent. And whereas the mission of the Family Court Awareness Month Committee and Florida Protect Parents Association is to increase awareness of the importance of empirically based education and training on domestic violence, ACE, IPV, childhood trauma, child sexual abuse, post-separation abuse for all professionals working on cases within the family court system, and whereas the mission of the FCAMC and FLPPA is to increase awareness of the importance of using scientifically valid, evidence-based treatment programs and services that are proven in terms of safety, effectiveness, and therapeutic value. And whereas the mission at the FCAMC is to educate judges and other family court professionals on evidence-based, peer-reviewed research. Such research is a critical component of making decisions genuinely in the child's best interest. Now, therefore, on behalf of the Dania Beach City Commission, I, Tamara James, Mayor of the City of Dania Beach, Florida, do hereby proclaim November 2022 as Family Court Awareness Month in the City of Dania Beach, Florida, and encourage all residents to support their local community's efforts to prevent harm to children in the hands of family members and to honor and value the lives of children. And here to speak to us a little bit and accept this proclamation is either Ashley or Daria.
Ashley.
Okay. Hi, Ashley.
And I really wanted to thank you. I stand in a lot of cities in November, and Dania has probably the most interesting commission meeting, and it's the most fun to go to.
Lord,
And last year it was over Zoom, and I had such a great experience that I'm back. You know, as October winds down, and October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, we want to usher in Family Court Awareness Month. In December of last year, Florida Protective Parents was formed, and we were really formed after Grayson was murdered. And we met his mom, Allie, and there was a group of parents that we came together and we said, we can't keep seeing this happen because the news stories started rolling in. And in this past year alone, I think we've seen 3 or 4 kids in Florida alone that have been killed by their parents. So the numbers don't seem to be going down. And, this year we've sat in countless hearings in Miami, Broward, and Palm Beach, and actually all over Florida thanks to Zoom. And we have aided survivors of domestic violence and families navigating through their difficult custody battles throughout our state. And I can tell you that what I've seen in those hearings keep me up at night. I have nightmares where I wake up crying for other people's children. My own case started last year and ended this year. And the mayor was so kind last year and said, I really hope that your case goes well. And I did. I got full custody of my daughter. And when you say that I got full custody of my daughter, it wasn't because a judge gave me that. It was because of the community that I found in the domestic violence community. And they told me how to protect my child and what I needed to do. And we shouldn't be advocating for ourselves, and we shouldn't be having to go to our community and try to figure that out. We should have judges listening to us, and we should be able to go to court and say with confidence, Judge, I need your help. I need to protect my child, and I need people to listen. And what is happening is we are going to court and we are begging on our knees for people to protect our kids. And the judges give our kids to the abusers instead. And they say, you are the problem. You need to be held back. And it's happening to Black and brown families more and more. And so I am one of the few brown women in Florida who advocate, and I obsess and love all brown women in power. And so I am so happy to come to Dania because I love seeing Black and brown faces here. I love seeing it because it is important that we acknowledge what is happening to our communities is not the same as to what is happening in other communities. So I really wanted to thank you guys. I really wanted to say that my case is a 1 in a million. Most parents do not get to protect their kids. I know of so many families this year that have been separated. I know of so many mothers who are fighting and so many fathers who are fighting to see their kids again after the courts remove the children and put them in the care of abusers. And, unfortunately, in family court, the child safety comes after parental rights. Children are not protected. And I really appreciate the city of Dania because not a lot of cities are listening and they say, take it to the court. We can't say that. We can't talk about this. And I really appreciate that you guys listen to the community because it is so important that if we get this change to make everyone aware of what is happening because family court has a bad reputation. We know that. People hate divorces. People say, oh, geez, divorce, I don't even want to hear the word because they know what that entails. And so when you're going to family court, you're going to get a divorce. You're not going to spend years of your life fighting for your children as if they were assets to be divided. So I really thank you so much. I am so happy to be here. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Ashley. You want to come see this? As October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, we have a Breast Cancer Awareness Month proclamation that reads, whereas Breast Cancer Awareness Month, which is an annual campaign to increase awareness of the disease and the importance of screening and early detection. And whereas on average, every 2 minutes a woman is diagnosed with breast cancer in the United States. And whereas 1 in 8 women born in the US today will be diagnosed with breast cancer in her lifetime. And whereas breast cancer is the most common cancer diagnosed in women between the ages of 55 and 64 in the US. And whereas early detection is key and a mammogram can find breast cancer before it can be felt, breast cancers found during screening exams are more likely to be smaller and confined. And whereas breast cancer is found early, there are more treatment options and a better chance of survival. And whereas women whose breast cancer is detected at an early stage have a 93% or higher survival rate in the first 5 years. And whereas in the US in 2022, there will be an estimated 287,500 new cases of invasive breast cancer diagnosed in women and 2,710 cases diagnosed in men. And whereas there are more than 3.8 million breast cancer survivors alive in the US today, the largest group of cancer survivors in the country, and we honor former Mayor Bobby H. Grace as one of those survivors. Now, therefore, on behalf of the Dania Beach Commission, I, Tamara James, Mayor of the City of Dania Beach, Florida, do hereby proclaim the month of October 2022 as Breast Cancer Awareness Month in the City of Dania Beach and acknowledge that the Commission recognizes the importance of education and the awareness of combating this disease. And I just want to say, I know that this proclamation reads the ages of 55 and 64, but I lost a friend 2 weeks ago to breast cancer. She was 37, and she was a former professional basketball player with me. And we watched her for 5 years, fight this illness. But a lot of times, because you're not at the age of 40, you're not going and getting screened. And so I already get screened, and I'm not 40 yet. And I just want to encourage you all to, women and men, because it can happen to men too, to make sure that you're checking your bodies and listening to your bodies. And if something doesn't feel right, to really go and get screened because you only really have one life to live. And to see her leave behind a 9-year-old son was just truly heartbreaking in the month of October. So I keep her family in my prayers. Next, we have citizens' comments. You have 3 minutes to address the commission. If you wish to address the commission, there is a form, a request to address right outside to my right, your left. If you can give that to the city clerk, and please state your name and address for the record. First, we have Bihal Chadva. I'm so sorry if I messed your name up.
Good evening. My name is Bajal Chadva, address 1637 North Victoria Park Road in Fort Lauderdale. Honorable Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, I appreciate the opportunity to speak here, and I thank you for providing me with your time and attention. I'd like to speak in favor of adding 4,000 dwelling units to the Regional Activity Center. I believe this was under ordinance number 2022-017, and there was a city application LU-013-22. So I own a vacant piece of land in the Regional Activity Center, and where under normal circumstances, I would have been able to build a single family home or a duplex. But since there are no available units, I'm unable to build. I didn't know about this until a couple of weeks ago when I was exploring building something over there, in which case I was made aware that there are no units left. Um, I'm aware that most people who came over here maybe earlier in the year to speak about this, they had concerns over overdevelopment and traffic. And I feel like those concerns were directed towards like taller buildings. I don't think they were directed towards a project like mine, where I just want to build a duplex on a vacant piece of land. So I urge the commission to approve the 4,000 units, and then if possible, reserve a percentage of these units for single family homes or duplexes, considering that they pose the least amount of burden on our city infrastructure. I do believe it is unfair that a lot of units have been allocated to maybe one party or fewer number of parties. So for that reason, I would request that it's also considered that um, maybe we can reserve some units or just allocate them for single families and duplexes, at least a good percentage of them, so that we're not in a situation like this again. I'm ready to create and submit plans, but I'm unable to do so because there are no units left, and it's my understanding the city is not accepting applications at this time. It's also my understanding that only the city commission can assign units in the regional activity center. So even if the commission approves the 4,000 units, the commission can still deny projects in the regional activity center, thereby maintaining control over potential overdevelopment. So I urge the commission that when this comes in for a vote, maybe early next year after it goes through the county and the state process, that the commission approves in favor of this. So I thank you for your time and for your attention.
Thank you. Next, we have Mr. David Kaplan. Please state your name and address for the record. You have 3 minutes.
My name is David Kaplan, live at 111 Southeast 3rd, Dania. The first thing I'd like to talk about are the requirements for a signature for code enforcement. Is not very helpful. I was told that the governor made this requirement that code enforcement issues, you sign it, becomes public record. And then of course, whoever you're talking about, knows who is filing that complaint. You'll see some pictures there. There's dumpsters overflowing, with trash blowing across the street there at Southwest First Street. Again, I just think it's not very helpful for people to turn in code enforcement violations the way it's set up now. I wish the attorney would reevaluate that. Number two, I want to talk about the trash there at 420 Southwest First. Again, I tried to come in and tell somebody about it, JC, but they wouldn't let me without signing. Number two, behind 3 Company, the homeless there living in the courtyard are using a trash bin. Believe it or not, actually saw them picking up trash. And unfortunately, because the 3 companies closed, I guess that bin doesn't get picked up. There's a picture there I can show you. In the alley behind 3 Companies, this last weekend, I notified actually it was Friday that I called. There's a water meter box that was leaking. I believe the city came out, they stopped that water meter box from leaking, and yet now for the next few days, it's been leaking again. I imagine the property owner probably wanted water and turned it back on. I think somebody needs to look at that. I hate to see water wasted, or potable water. Uh, we don't have enough of it. And of course, with saltwater intrusion, that's really bad. The other picture I have is a fire hydrant. You can see that hydrant didn't rest yesterday. That's been like that for quite a while. It too is leaking. If you can see the water leaking out of the top of it, you know that it's leaking more water underground. And I think that's just criminal to lose good, fresh water. I'd like to see something done with that. And one last thing, I know you're going to talk about water treatment, or both drinking potable and water sewage. Uh, we don't treat our sewage to the degree it needs to be treated. We need to take the nutrients out. Don't think that deep well injection is getting rid of the problem. If you still have those nutrients in there, in the water, it's going to be in the ground. It'll come back and affect us later. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Jonathan Thomas. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes.
To the mayor, vice mayor, city commission, and to all of you sitting up here. I am Jonathan Thomas. I reside at 180 East Dania Beach Boulevard in the city of Dania Beach. I like to consider myself, and I agree that I am a even-tempered individual. Over time, I've developed a thick coat of skin. Yesterday, during all of the shenanigans that went on, my issue is I understand some things happen between campaign to campaign. Those things happen. It's the environment. What I do not understand is that the city of Dania has agreed, or what have you, to have a voting precinct at the library, knowing that the library is next to City Hall, that the primary parking for the library is the parking garage. All of those things should have been in consideration. Protocol should have been in place with what is allowable, what is not allowable. It should have been done not only in this election in November, but it should have been done in the primaries that just happened in August. I received an email. Thank you, Tom, who has been very thorough in this entire process, letting us know do's and don'ts, sending us emails of things that we need to know. Upcoming to this election, nothing was said that you cannot do this. This is something new. You cannot do these things. But now, on the first day of early voting, we get out here as any campaign person would do, as you have done in Hollywood, right? You set up your stuff, all of that. Nobody said you couldn't do this. So we went based on what happened in August, we did the same thing. Campaign signs were along Federal Highway. Campaign signs were along this road right here. I can't think of the name. As long as it was behind the 150 mark. I received the email along with the other candidates that, we've just been informed that we have a plethora of comments or whatever, that you cannot do this, you cannot do that. I am not saying I will not obey the rules. I respect rules. But at the same time, I received that email. It was at 11 o'clock on election or early voting day. I responded, why was this not taken care of August? Now you're telling us to do this, but you didn't do that in August. Everybody was free game as long as you were behind the 150. But now we have city staff who are coming, not even addressing. I don't know the code guy name, the director, but anytime there was an inappropriate sign, he called me. Jonathan, very pleasant guy. Yesterday, people came out. I'm standing there snatching up signs. Hey, Jonathan, your signs can't be here. My time is up.
Thank you.
Okay.
William Turner Sr. Please state your name and address for the record. You have 3 minutes.
William Turner, 1451 Northwest Second Street. I want to give Jonathan my time, please.
Mr. Thomas?
So yesterday,
Okay,
yes, wait on the time.
no, you're allowed.
I'm sorry for my loudness. I am a passionate speaker, and for lack of a better word, I'm pissed off.
3 minutes.
Okay. So I received an email saying that we can't do this, you can't do that, which I respect. As I said, I respect rules. Then I respond to the email. Why wasn't this addressed in the primaries? Why didn't we know this prior to today? I receive an email back from our city attorney, and I quote, "Hey, I'm running out of time." But in other words, she responded back, "Sir, sir, I cannot speak of what happened in August," and I'm paraphrasing, so I take off the quotes. "I cannot speak for what happened in August. I was not made aware." That is some BS. Because if it's next to City Hall, you're here every day, code is parking here every day. How are you not aware of what is happening, right? And then to have code to come out, snatching up signs, not addressing the candidate. Hey, can you pull up your signs? Hey, okay. The issue that I'm having is that whatever the code is, if this is what you want, then you have to uphold it across the board. In the morning, there are firefighters who are campaigning for a candidate, which I'm cool with. It is what it is. Campaigning for a candidate on the 150 feet away on the library, standing on the sidewalk, campaigning, which is cool. My people come to do the same thing in the afternoon, and we are approached by Stacy, who has been very rude, and she tells them they cannot stand there. I'm in the parking garage where my car is parked because I'm here for 12 hours and I don't want my car to be in the sun, right? So somebody comes and says, you have to move your car out of the parking garage. Stacy, again, you have to remove your car out of the parking garage. I'm not moving my car. Well, remove the sticker. I've come to meetings. I've come to City Hall to pay bills. I've come to speak to Tom, and the sticker has been there. But all of a sudden, now we're making up rules to accommodate what we feel like we need to accommodate. Then Barbara, who's now my friend, because we got an understanding, we talked and we're friends now. She came out and told my uncle, who is volunteering, who is a resident of the city, you can't be in the parking garage. I'm a resident of the city. He's not passing out literature. He doesn't even have a shirt on. But he can't be in the parking garage? Make it make sense. I'm standing there in the parking garage and she tells me the same thing. If we're going to say these are the rules, uphold them across the board. That's all I got to say.
Thank you. Miss Sabrina Turner, are you speaking? No? Okay, great, we're done. Next, we have public safety reports. Oh, turn the time off, sorry. Public safety reports, Captain Marks.
Am I there?
Yes, we can't see you though.
I'm trying.
Let me take the blue sky time. Okay, there we go.
There we go. Good evening, Mayor Commissioners. I got a brief report tonight. Our annual Fall Festival and National Night Out on Crime is Friday, October 28th, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. at CW Tom. It's gotten bigger and bigger every year. Hope to see everybody out there for the trunk or treat. Everybody decorating up. We have an internship program in our city with our deputies. We give everybody the opportunity to go through criminal investigations for a month and our crime suppression team, and it's paid off in dividends. And just like the city manager's philosophy of promoting within and employee development, it's just totally paid off for us. I'd like to take this opportunity to acknowledge the outstanding work and effort put forth by Detective Carlos Morales. He was assigned a residential burglary case. At that time, he immediately began to investigate the case. Soon thereafter, it was discovered that the victim's stolen bicycle, valued at $15,000, was being sold on OfferUp. He coordinated with the victim to broker a deal to retrieve the property from an unknown suspect at the time. He formulated an operational plan which targeted the suspect and recovery of the bicycle. The suspect soon arrived at 1991 South State Road 7 in Davie, Florida, and was apprehended with the victim's property. Along with the initial suspect, he worked in concert with another suspect who was subsequently arrested for grand theft and dealing in stolen property. Detective Morales was also able to positively identify the original suspect in the burglary, who was already in BSO custody at our main jail. She was subsequently charged with the residential burglary and grand theft. Detective Morales quickly established numerous suspects related to the original residential burglary, and in turn made 3 arrests to put the case to rest and return the stolen property to the original victims. This is a deputy that was trained off of field training in our city and then went through our internship, and now he's a member of our criminal investigations division. So we continue that, and I'm proud to say that all of our detectives and both of our specialized units are original Dania. And that completes my report.
Thank you, Captain Marks.
Thank you.
No comments. We'll move on to Chief Pelisar.
Good evening. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, City Manager, and our great citizens of Dania Beach. Tonight, I want to start off by addressing our audience and people watching from home. Halloween is a spooky time of the year for our kids and the grown-ups, so please stay safe. And if you can please follow the following tips for me, it'll keep everybody safe. So when you choose a costume, make sure your fabric is not too long so that it could trip you or your little one. Make sure the eye holes are big enough that you can see out of. Make sure you give your children flashlights to carry, as well as glow sticks as part of their costume. Remember that dried flowers and corn stalks and paper decorations can easily catch fire, so keep them away from any open flame or candle. Keep your exits clear from all decorations. Make sure all your smoke alarms are working inside your house. And here's a very important fact that, I think is very important that the decorations are the first things to ignite, and roughly 800 home fires are reported each year during this time, and about a third of them started from a candle. So please stay safe during this spooky Halloween season. Our fire rescue crews continue to be active as they responded to 748 calls during the period of September 1st through the 30th. 568 of those calls were medical calls, 110 of them were fire related, and 70 other types of calls like service calls, like basically ducks in the drain, cat in the tree, or somebody slipping out of the couch and needing help to get up. And we had a couple of suspicious packages calls. That completes my reports, and if you have any questions, I'm right here. All right, have a good night.
Thank you. I'm sorry, I'm asking the city attorney about an addendum to
So-
a resolution if she has.
Sure, so 7.3 was distributed on the dais. It was a minor modification to the resolution, clarifying that a maintenance agreement would be needed for the art piece. I don't need to read that back in because the title hasn't changed. I do need to read into the record, though, the addendum, which is 7.6, and it's a resolution number 2022-165, and it's a resolution of the City Commission urging the School Board of Broward County to increase funding for school resource officers for every school within Broward County, Florida, providing for distribution, conflicts, and effective date. And this was sponsored by the mayor.
We have the consent agenda. Do we have any pulls?
Make a motion to approve.
All in favor? Anyone opposed? Great. We're gonna move on to 9.1, our public hearings.
An ordinance of the City Commission to adopt an amendment to the City of Dania Beach Comprehensive Plan to update the water supply planning provision by amending the text for the sanitary sewer, solid waste, drainage, potable water, natural groundwater aquifer recharge element, the capital improvement element, the conservation element, the future land use element, attached as a composite exhibit A, incorporated by reference into this ordinance, providing for transmittal to the Florida Department of Economic Opportunity and all other units of local government and other governmental agency as required by law, providing for conflicts, inclusion in the comprehensive plan, severability, and an effective date. This is second reading. It is a community development item.
Good evening. Corinne LaJoy, Assistant Director, Community Development. This is second reading of our water supply plan. This is for adoption. There has been some time that has passed between first and second reading because we were still working with South Florida Water Management District to tie up some loose ends. It's a big agency. Sometimes they go slower, but we've been able to do that, and they've authorized us to move forward with the adoption of the plan. This is a requirement by law that we have to adopt it. It'll be included into our comprehensive plan, and we do have adequate water from now and into the future. This plan brings us through 2023. It will also is adequate water supply for even for the additional 4,000 units that we have an application out for as well. So there's adequate water under this plan. I can go through the full presentation if you'd like to do that. I'm available if you have any questions. Our consultant is here as well if you have questions for her.
I just have one question. I don't need to see the entire thing, but I wanted to make sure this addresses what we have spoken about earlier in the year when we sometimes we say, oh, we have to be careful of the meters or whatever that we're giving developers or our residents because we don't have a water supply. I want to make sure that this is going to eliminate that.
So what you're saying is that we've been restricting water meters. Are you talking about like irrigation and things like that? I know that this is a policy that water meters get issued through public services. I know that was a policy that they implemented as a measure. I'm not sure where they stand on that policy now.
Because the last I heard, we weren't going to restrict until we had something definite. We weren't going to restrict water meters. We weren't going to charge residents for being hooked up. I mean, forcing them to hook up to the sewage and making their water bills higher. I mean,
If I'm not mistaken, Candido can clarify, but I believe we did pass
no,
that.
I know, but
Good evening, Mayor. Candido Sosa Cruz, Deputy City Manager. You're correct. There's no restrictions or blocking off anyone requesting an irrigation meter.
okay.
That was
that's all I
discussed
wanted.
last time, and we made that change in the internal policy so people could request it if they wish.
Okay, I didn't know if it was permanent or if because we said we were going to wait till y'all came back, so I didn't know if this was that. All right, thank you. This is a public hearing. Anyone? What is wrong with that? Monica, what's on this extra thing that's up here? No one's on. This is a public hearing. Anyone to speak for or against this? No, the timer's gone. Go ahead, Liza.
I make a motion to pass the item, Mayor.
All in favor? Anyone opposed? 9.2.
An ordinance of the City Commission authorizing the expenditure of city funds exceeding $1 million, which expenditures not to exceed the project estimate of $4,821,520, approved by the City Commission to fund the rehabilitation of lift stations 1, 2, and 3, providing for severability, conflicts, and effective date. This is second reading. It is a public services item.
This is a public hearing. Anyone to speak for or against this?
Make a motion to pass 9.2, Mayor.
All in favor? Anyone opposed? 8.1.
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Dania Beach retroactively ratifying the Public Services Department's issuance of an invitation to bid for the rehabilitation of lift stations 1, 2, and 3, authorizing the award of the invitation to bid 22-026 entitled Rehabilitation of Lift Stations 1, 2, and 3 to Southern Underground Industries, Inc. in an amount not to exceed $4,821,520, providing for conflicts and an effective date. This is public services. We needed to pass the $1 million ordinance before we could hear this, which is why it was heard out of order.
Thank you. Any discussion for the board?
Make a motion to pass 8.1, Mayor.
Nope. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Commissioner comments, Commissioner Davis?
Right, thank you. It has been a busy couple of weeks, so I will not try to take up too much time, but I do want to recognize a couple of things that happened that were very significant. I did have the opportunity to attend the going home service for Rodney Collins. I expected it to be a sad occasion because he was such a great man and brilliant historian of the city. But Pastor Anderson did a really wonderful job, and it really was a celebration of his life. So thank you for really celebrating and letting us know what a wonderful, wonderful historian and part of Dania Beach that Rodney Collins contributed to being in our city. Next, that same day, the celebration, but the lifeguard towers came. The brand new lifeguard towers came. We have the pink, the yellow, the blue. I mean, it was a long process, but they are just making our beach absolutely, absolutely gorgeous. We are standing out as a unique, one of a kind beach, and we have the mural on the beach, and I want to commend all of the employees because they're the only employees that I get to see each and every day. I want to thank Public Services, I call them the M&M team, Mike and Marvin, the Beam team, all of the people who just make the beach pristine each and every day. You guys are working on overdrive, and it really makes a difference. The beach rangers they have their ATVs, they're up and down, they're the pier. It's really, really safe, and it's really, really gorgeous. So I want to thank every employee who's on the beach because I get to see you each and every day. Next, that same evening or the next day, something, it was the groundbreaking of C.W. Thomas Park. I want to thank Parks and Rec, Eric Cassie, the whole team who did such a wonderful job with that presentation and putting that together. It was really a wonderful, wonderful event and a long time coming. So thank you for that. And then we had the State of the City address, which was also another wonderful event. Unfortunately, we could stay for only 2 hours of that event because we had to split time and go to the Fort Lauderdale Alliance dinner, which was also a phenomenal event sponsored by Amazon. So we got to go to both of those events in one night. The only thing I will say about the State of the City that I noticed, and I hope that we can do something about it in the future, is when anytime that we put anything out in publication, that we either hire a consultant, hire an editor, hire somebody, because I am a language person and an English person, and we did have some grammatical and spelling errors in that. And so anything that is published, we just want to double check and make sure that we don't have any errors that are publicized with the city's name on it. Um, After that, I already said the employee picnic. Thank you, Vice Mayor, once again. And then finally, we attended the Dania Point um, Food and Wine Festival, which would just brought families, friends, businesses all together that we visit all the time. But it was just a spectacular event. And kudos to the Dania Point team. Brad and his wonderful all-star team just did a phenomenal job on that. So with that, I will finish and thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner Llewellyn.
Thank you. I'm not gonna repeat everything because I think I went to all the same things that you did. And agree with all that. I will say that at Rodney Collins's service, it was nice to hear laughter, because that really it celebrated his life. There was an opportunity to really celebrate him, and it was his family was his brother in particular was quite amusing. He really made everybody laugh at one point. So I am very happy to see that we are finally breaking ground on CW Thomas and moving forward with the parks plan. It's high time. It's been a long time coming. I know there've been multiple commissions that have been trying to get something like this done, and I'm glad it's finally coming to fruition. And then let's make the others happen quickly too. So, um, again, also state of the city, that was we had to make a conscious decision because there were a couple of events that night, and I think there was actually a third event too that night that we couldn't even attend. But it's important to be everywhere and have a presence everywhere. So although we started out the state of the city, which was an excellent event, well attended, nice to see some residents there in addition to other dignitaries and lobbyists and whatnot. But it was nice to see some residents there as well. But we also did go to the Greater Fort Lauderdale Alliance dinner. And one of the things that I noted while there was that everybody was talking about Dania Beach and how amazing the city is and what a great job we're all doing and all of the accomplishments that have occurred over the last few years. So it's good to know that the work that's being done is being acknowledged and recognized. And that's kudos to everybody on the team, on the staff, employees, everybody, because everybody's had a piece in this. So, and the Dania Point Food and Wine Festival was amazing. It was really nice. And I think if they're going to be doing it on a regular basis, it's really going to draw people into the city. And it helped all the businesses that were there as well. I mean, every business was full. So in addition to people actually attending, for those that maybe couldn't get in or didn't have a ticket or what have you, everybody was going to every other place surrounding it. So that's huge, because we want to see everything, all of our businesses succeed as well. So with that, I think I'm finished. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Ottman. Nothing. I'm like packing up my stuff over here. Someone's
This
gonna
isn't your last meeting, though.
Well, it's I'm seeing who's gonna inherit my Legos and my fidgety toys. Nothing. Just thank you to all you, city manager. Thank you for helping put everything together, and Commissioner Llewellyn. Thank you so much for this, and it's been a wonderful. I don't know, a wonderful journey together. Maybe sometimes not so wonderful. It wasn't always really wonderful, but it was
never is.
overall. It wasn't, but nothing good is always wonderful. So sometimes it's arduous and all those things. But we got a lot done, and I'm really proud of that work that everyone's done, and I'm really excited to occasionally check in and see what y'all are doing next. So just y'all know how I feel about you. Probably. All right. That's all I've got. Keep doing good things. Bye. Good night.
Thank you. Vice Mayor?
It's tough to follow you three women. Done that, been there. I have a couple of questions. I want to know after, I think it's crying, I got me all nervous there for sure. After next week, our next election, they're gonna put me at the very end. So I get to sit at the very end. They gave me my office upstairs today, it's at the very end. So I don't know if I'm getting put out to pasture or what, but thank you for all that. I do want to It's always the guy that gets stuck in the back. I do want to, I do want to talk about Dania Point for a minute. Dania Point has been very instrumental in our growth of our city. The Wine and Food Festival was a complete sellout and a success. And just, I don't know if you had it in your management reports, not, but you know, they're going to have the 5K run coming up. We talked about that before, and then they're bringing in the promoters that are, I think, you brought that up last week. They're coming out of Miami that run the bigger runs, and also we're going to have the exotic car show that used to be exotic car of Los Olas, right? And now it's going to be of Dania Point. Those are big things that are happening in Dania Beach, and some of the great examples that we're setting out there in our community to bring more and more, people to our city to, our businesses prospering and so on. There's a lot of excitement in our city. I know that some of the nicer things that haven't been acknowledged is like the Griffin Road corridor. They've put all the new landscaping in, are still working on it. It really, really looks nice. And I've gotten a lot of people telling me how nice it looks over there. And again, I commend, just in our own, our downtown is looking good. I see the guys working out there consistently on the streets. Get a lot of compliments on how clean our city looks lately. But just in general, we have a good feel good here right now, and along with the HR and all the employee picnic and all the things that's going on here. I hope our election. I hope we get our commissioners that come in are as excited about our city as we are, and hopefully everything will go good. And and Lauren, we go long before you became up here, so I'll miss you a little bit. Thank you for your service. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm gonna save my Commissioner Ottman comments until the next meeting, which you'll have to see us again, not virtually. Come on in. So I have a bunch of stuff that I was going to talk about, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to save it for the organizational meeting that I hope that you will attend. So CW Thomas Park, the groundbreaking happened, but we want the real groundbreaking to happen sooner than later. Mr. Brown, it was a monumentous occasion, and it was so good to see so many of the same family members or community members, if you will, sorry, that I have watched evolve and grow into the gracefully aging community, and who have watched me grow up. Just be overjoyed of the quality of the project that will be coming to that community, and one of many that will be coming to many different communities. So definitely was excited about that. And speaking with Brad about the wine and food festival, I told him like you're going to have to expand on this. So it will be an annual event. He told me, and that they are going to expand because there was a lot. They sold out really quickly, and there is a demand for it. And I think that they had great food. The Marriott, probably that big paella they had was just breathtaking to look at. But the chef demonstrations and everything that they had, they continue to wow me with the level of their events to keep our communities engaged. And it doesn't cost us $1, and we get to brag about it. And so I'm excited to be a part of Dania Point. And earlier we dedicated or cut the ribbon for the what we know it as now the West Wing. That was a project that's been years in the making. Um, and I'm just happy that has happened. That's something that I've probably been advocating for about 6, 7 years now. And so not only will they be office spaces, but there is a vision to maximize the space and the capacity there. And so I continue to look forward to the great projects that the city is doing. First, State of the City event live was wonderful. I told Maxine that was really her event. Her along with the State of the City committee that came together that just decided so many different things from decorations to food to the program. I think we did a great job as a city, and I applaud all of you all because this was on top of all of the millions of other things that you all have on your plate. Um, I heard nothing but great things about it. It was really refreshing to see so many other elected officials and dignitaries come out to support Dania Beach and to hear about the great things that we are doing, along with the honorees that were very, very special for the brother and sister Cornelius Rose, who are a part of this community and a huge part of history in this community, to see them have that honor. And I look forward to the next mayor being able to present that lifetime achievement mayor's award to whomever they deem is worthy of that award. That's something that we give that lives in the lives of our residents, of the recipients forever. And so they're very, very grateful. We had a lot of fun. The vice mayor thugged it out the entire time. I'm appreciative of that. He had to keep getting up for pictures, but it was a phenomenal event. It's very necessary for people to understand where our dollars are going and the state of the city. Because a lot of times we just play the video in the atrium and it gets lost, but to actually see people come out and enjoy that, I think that's one of many to follow. I had a whole rundown again on Commissioner Ottman, but I'm not going to do it. I know that her, I know that the second floor has always been on fire, and that's a little inside joke between her and I, and we've come a very long way. And I'll save the rest of my comments for the organizational meeting. I really hope you attend. We have so much history together in a small amount of time that are filled with twists and turns and ups and downs. But I'm very thankful for a lot of the things that I don't think you realize that you were a part of and that you initiated. And your service here was well needed for a time like this and necessary. And so, thank you for your service. We're not told that often about each other. And that and thank you, Vice Mayor, for that employees picnic. I wasn't able to attend, but in seeing that, I know this needs to be something annual, and it shouldn't be anything that's taken out of your budget. It's something that we should probably budget for certain, for sure. It was a great use of your contingency funds, and although we budget for it, doesn't mean we can't go get sponsorships for it. But I thought that was a great event from the looks of it. Administrative report, City Manager.
Yes, good evening, Mayor. Thank you. Just wanted to report, I know the Vice Mayor briefly spoke about it. We're almost more than 50% complete with the Griffin Corridor median, and we're extremely excited about that. It looks really beautiful. I also wanted to let you know that Dinser and Fernando did an assessment of the Marina Mile median. Wasn't looking up to the standards that we wanted. So they ended up having a meeting with FDOT, and we now have an agreement in place for the Marina Mile median that from 15th to 26th Avenue, FDOT is going to be responsible, and from 26th to 30th Avenue, the city is going to be responsible. When you're talking about mowing and litter picking and ensuring that that median is up to the standard of excellence that you expect and that we expect as well.
Do we have a schedule for them so we can stay on top of them? Because a lot of times they've been in charge of a lot of things that we've had to pick up the pieces on. So I want to make sure that while we're giving them a certain portion, that we're definitely holding them accountable and have a contact person.
We have Dinser, our deputy director, and our city engineer. You want to brief the mayor and the rest of the commission on it?
Thank you so much, Manager. Once a month, Mayor, that we have been told that FDOT is going to be maintained once a month, 12 times a year.
Is that enough from your experience?
As far as I know, yes, but we will definitely check it out and make sure that they do what they're supposed to do. If not, then we can ask them to do more.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Dinser. I also want to acknowledge the great work of our Parks and Recreation team. I can't, I mean, coming from Parks and Recreation, the work that Eric Brown and Cassie Warren and, Raphael and Anthony Fidi, just Carla, the entire team just did a fantastic job, and they're just so passionate about what they do, and we're extremely excited about the future. And that investment of $18.1 million, and like the mayor and commission said, let's get that shovel in the ground. And I want to also thank Corinne and Eleanor, because there were so many things, and vacation of a right of way and all these other things that both Eric and I learned about. So it truly takes a team. So we're very excited about that. I also want to thank Public Services. There's a cul-de-sac in our city, 37th Terrace. It's in the west side of our city, and we have an upcoming a drainage project there. And we were out there with a vac truck. I know, Mayor, you called me. I know Commissioner Llewellyn had called me several times as well. And this is where a lot of our Jewish residents live. And it was a big challenge because it was a high holy days. And we were out there with the vac trucks going above and beyond. And I just wanted to thank, the team and Darren. And I know, like, I sound like a broken record. I see Commissioner Davis shaking her head and the Vice Mayor, but this team is truly remarkable. And thank you for all your support. Thank you, Vice Mayor, for the employee picnic. It was fantastic. It was a difficult time for me to eat. I had just had a root canal, but man, the food looked great. I tried it, couldn't, but to see, you know, Lori Adams and Corinne's daughter there in the petting zoo and seeing, Frank's son and his wife. And that's what it's all about. And seeing, Eve's dog finally in person. I know him from Facebook and Linda's two big dogs that look like horses. I mean, it was just amazing, to see the whole city team there. I cannot say enough about the State of City address, Mayor. I'm very proud of this committee that we put together. Maxine served as a chair, but I have to also mention the efforts. Those beautiful centerpieces that you saw, because we wanted it fall, we wanted it to be perfect, and I wanted to thank Eleanor for the great job that she did. Katya, boy, let's look at the video again, and our whole IT team did just a fantastic job. Daryl McFarland, Monica, Ralph Martin, Chris Lottier coming in at the last minute. But I also have to mention the great work of Bill Harris. He raised over $50,000 for that event, and that doesn't get mentioned. Okay, I mean, it cost our taxpayers $0. So it was a total team effort. Thank you to Linda and Candido and Maxine and everybody that worked on the employee picnic, because it was a total team effort. And we're just looking forward to all the great things that are occurring in our city. And that 5K run on October the 30th, like the mayor said, we have a great partnership with Dania Point. It is a great partnership, and the sky's the limit for all the things that we could do. And Commissioner Rodman, I wish you the very best always, to you and to Milo, and thank you for believing in me and believing in this administration. And like a true Taurus and a true Scorpio, we had it out at times, but you know what? At the end of the day, it was all good.
And happy birthday to our city manager. It all makes sense. You're a Scorpio. Oh my gosh.
Thank you. Now it all makes sense, right?
It all makes sense. My sister's a Scorpio. It makes sense.
She loves you, right?
Yeah,
You love me.
absolutely.
7 a.m. for my birthday yesterday, it was all about this and that and this, and I didn't.
Probably
I told,
was.
I told the mayor, by the way, yesterday was my birthday, but I worked it. I learned a lesson. Next year I'm gonna take it off, but I can't. It's a city commission meeting.
You can't take it off
I
if
can't
you
take it
want.
off.
We're still gonna call.
Yeah. Well, I'll be taking off next week and spending some time up in North Carolina. But thank you all. It was just a fantastic couple of weeks, and the more we do, the more we just get excited and get to doing things. Maxine, enjoy your vacation. Really, get out of
You
here.
cannot go on vacation, Maxine. What are we gonna do? Oh God.
We have a deep bench, Mayor. We have a deep bench.
Not for Maxine. Okay.
Thank
Are
you.
you finished?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, city attorney.
So this seems like it's the Commissioner Odman evening. You will be missed. So this is actually about a project that Commissioner Odman did bring to the city in 2020, and unfortunately, the group, the 1,000 Mermaids Ocean Rescue Alliance, could not install, if you recall, the artificial reef at our beach, and it was no fault of theirs. The Navy precluded the installation of the artificial reef. In the meantime, they did do a number of events with the city. They did install two above ground, above ocean installations, which was, if you remember, the mermaid tail and another one. They were being used at the Dania Beach, at the beach for over a year. They were finally removed once we knew that the contract had to terminate. So we had paid them $41,500 towards the installation. They've given us $10,000 back already. Towards the 41,000, so we're down to 31,500. The reason I'm giving you these numbers is that you may recall by March of this year, I had asked for authorization to go ahead and file suit against them. I didn't wind up filing suit because they've admitted that they owe the money and they have asked for time. They need to go to Hollywood to try and get a project done in Hollywood so that they could reimburse us because they are a nonprofit organization and they were having financial difficulties. Ultimately, I have come to an agreement with them by the end of November, before Thanksgiving, actually. We should have payment of everything but $9,000. The remaining $9,000, they're asking for some forgiveness. They're asking that from us. The $5,000 of the $9,000, $4,000, they said they provided in services. In that they did do these events with us in the first year. They did put out the fishy tail that we got, the mermaid tail and the other sculpture. So we did get some advantage out of that, and there were costs that associated with that for them, and those were according to the bill, were $5,000. The remaining were basically deposits on some of the sculptures, and they're asking for help because they had to install those, the mermaid tail and the other sculpture, and the moving cost associated with that onto the beach was $1,000. To remove it from the beach, because we weren't going to keep them, was another $1,000 cost for them, and then they had to pay storage all this time because they didn't have a place to use it, and they didn't have another contract with another city. So they're asking out of the goodness of your heart if you as a city will forgive the $9,000. If not, I have to go back and see about negotiating with them or suing them for the remainder. It would cost us at least $5,000 to file suit and service and all, and spending time on it. So I'm recommending if you're agreed to call it a wash at this point. But that's up to you.
Vice Mayor?
So they had the mermaid on the beach, which was an attraction. Everybody was enjoying it. So why didn't they just leave that there and bill us for that?
Because we canceled the contract, they took it away. Now we could ask them to bring it back and they'll charge us for the cost of that, but it's more than $5,000.
That piece is more than $5,000. I mean, I understand their situation. When their due diligence, whose due diligence was it to find out whether they could put the mermaids into?
It was their responsibility. They
So
originally
why should we accept anything if they fail their due diligence?
to be clear, they originally got a preliminary yes from the Navy, and that's why we proceeded with payments. And then the higher up division of the Navy came back and said, no, sorry,
Yep.
whoever gave you that authorization was wrong. We're overriding.
If they'd have left the mermaid there, I would have said I'd have been happy with forgive the $10,000. We're getting nothing out of it at this point. I don't. I mean, I'm not trying to be hard on it, but I think that $10,000 is a lot to forgive. It's
9,000.
9,000. It's almost 25% of the bill, and that's a lot. That's a lot of a discount for what they've given us. I would not accept that at this point, unless you can convince me otherwise.
Are they not doing something with the city of Hollywood?
They are working on the city of Hollywood. It's a total of about $101,000 total for that project.
So why
And they're
can't
using
they,
those funds to pay us back the 31.5.
why can't they use those funds to pay us back a little more? I understand the moving of it because we couldn't keep it, but why couldn't they pay us the other funds back for that through the monies
You
from
mean
the city?
earlier?
They haven't got it yet.
Well,
They haven't gotten paid
not
yet.
earlier, but they're asking for forgiveness beforehand. So why are they not putting that in whatever monies they're going to be making with the city of Hollywood?
All of the funds that they're giving us now are from the Hollywood project.
Oh, that's the extent of it.
It was, remember, they have
Hollywood's only
101
giving them $22,500.
$31,500 is coming from that project. They're basically saying they have administrative costs for themselves. The rest is going towards the construction, which is another company, the company that is actually building the modules. So they don't make, nonprofits don't make profit, but if you follow me, their administrative fee, their quote unquote profit they are using to pay us, and they're asking for the forgiveness of the 9,000 because they don't really have very much funds.
Commissioner, Davis?
Thank you. So my whole thing is whether or not it's actually worth to use our funds to sue them. So if you're going to talk about $9,000 and we're going to spend $5,000 to go and sue them, then you're talking about a $4,000 profit. And so are we really just going to go to court for $4,000? So to me, that's where it doesn't make sense to keep pushing something, pushing something. If we were actually going to get something, a major, benefit or revenue from it, then yeah, push it forward. But if we have to spend 5,000 in order to get 9,000, then we're wasting time, energy, and court resources. So I would say no to that. I would move forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Llewellyn?
I also was looking at the cost of it. I know it ends up costing a lot of time and money to go forward with a lawsuit that is not really going to result in much, if anything. If anything, we may end up spending more money in the long run as opposed to actually um, gaining anything from it. There were a lot of people who did come out and take photographs with the mermaid tail. They were all over social media. I still see them pop up in memories and that sort of thing. So, it definitely brought us some benefits. So I'm fine with calling it a wash and moving on.
Thank you. Commissioner Ottman, this is your project. You don't have anything to say?
So my feeling is that it was so complicated, the entire project and the people they had to get approval from. Do I like that it happened? Obviously not, but I understand how it happened, and I'm not looking to. I hope that they continue to do good work throughout Broward County, and I don't want to have any negative juju in it. So my request would be that we forgive the 9,000, and hopefully down the line they will continue to do good work. But I understand how it happened with them.
Thank you. Vice Mayor?
Well, my point's gonna be nil now, so. Listen, I like the project. And I think it's 5,000. I was gonna say, why don't we just give them the $5,000 forgiveness, but it's not, if you guys feel that way about me, they do good things. And I'm not really, I just don't know how much they're really making in Hollywood. And I just don't feel like if they're making a good amount of money on their project in Hollywood, why we're taking the loss. I guess it's just why would we, I just don't want to be the guy sitting in the back taking the loss. It's our taxpayers' dollars. So, but if the consent from three of them right there, so, I'm good to go with whatever our majority is.
Let's move on. Okay.
Thank you. I got direction. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Tom?
Yes, Mayor, thank you. Upcoming meetings, Wednesday, and hear me out, Wednesday, that's not Tuesday, Wednesday, November 9th at 5:30 is your CRA board meeting, followed by a regular city commission meeting at 7 p.m. Thank you.
And then, hold on, and then we have the organizational meeting on November 21st. Commissioner Ottman, that we will see you at. Vice Mayor?
Yeah, I have one more question for you. I was expecting you to, I was expecting you to discuss or tell us a little bit more, even though you emailed us today, about the parking garage situation.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry about that. I should have done that in the public. So, as you know, the city is looking to annex 0.2 acres from Hollywood, and it's not land owned by Hollywood. It is FDOT land. That land would be used towards the base of our structure for the parking garage that would go on the beach. And right now, the Hollywood is still doing the rounds with the elected officials to see if we can come to an agreement for the interlocal. As you know, this commission made a recommendation that we did provide to Hollywood, which was a 5-year term with a 5-year extension. The administration of Hollywood has rejected that. They're looking for 4 5-year terms with a right now. That's what it was negotiated. So they're looking to do a 20 years total, 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5 years of the parking for free Monday through Friday for residents of Hollywood that have a parking pass with the city. However, they haven't finished their rounds with the city commission, so they're working on that right now. If all of that goes through and they approve that, they would be looking at approving the modified interlocal agreement probably the first meeting in December. They do not meet prior to November 30th, which was the date they install their new elected officials, and they're not going to do business on that day. So it would be the December meeting. And then after that, we would go to the county for the county approval of the interlocal as well, and then final approval here.
So does that mean that they're gonna re-vote from the new commission?
Yes.
Okay, but just, I know that, some people are maybe unreceptive of the 5, 5, 5, 5, or 20. But my point of it is that, it doesn't bother me. The reason why it doesn't bother me is because of, again, it's just like having Dania Point down at Dania Beach, and it's an attraction for the people to come down to Lucky Fish and the quarter deck and spend money at the new containers gonna be outside. And it's a Monday through Friday situation, which we're not gonna be that busy all through Monday through Friday. And that we should be thankful that the people want to come to Dania to spend their money, even though we don't get the money for the parking, but our businesses get it. And from the businesses, we get a percentage of what the business gets. So we're kind of getting something out of it either way. That's just my opinion on it. But when the time comes to vote, we'll worry about whether or not we get the chance to. I just can't see why they're making it so difficult.
So we say 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5. After 5 years, we come back and we decide whether or not we want to continue it.
It basically, under certain conditions, it would automatically renew. But yes, you would be voting on it.
I want to know financially how much money, like what that looks like financially. Like what type of a loss are we talking about? And obviously, it's not built yet. Lucky Fish isn't built yet, but some type of a projection of a cost of a loss that we're going to take.
I want you to consider the alternative. Okay. No parking garage and the possibility of Lucky Fish failing. The possibility of the revenues that we would get from Lucky Fish, more revenues that we would get from Quarterdeck, revenues that we would get from our pier, revenues that we would get from the sale of sundries and the 3 additional containers and the business that's expanding on the Quarterdeck. I've stopped sending you guys the weekend closures because it's every weekend. The beach is closed. The beach is open. We've worked very hard to get to the point. And one thing that I wanted to add is it started with in perpetuity. So it's no longer in perpetuity. Then we went back with 5 and then a possible 5. So this is called negotiation, folks. The greater loss that you will experience, that we will experience as a city, is knowing that every weekend, as it is today, we have to close the beach because there's not enough parking for what exists today. Imagine everything that we've done and all the investments that we're doing in the beach. So
I understand all of that. I also understand, again, this is a negotiation, and just because they just come back and say something, we're gonna say, oh, we don't accept this, then we're not gonna have a parking garage. You know, obviously, we don't want any of our businesses to fail, and we want our beach to have a thriving. But we also, as administrators of this board, have to thoroughly look at things and decide which way we want to go. I don't think it's just a rejection, but I think there needs to have further conversations than just a 2-minute, summary of it and tell us to make a decision. I want to make the best informed decision possible. So I do want to see what that looks like on a financial basis to see what our residents are going to lose. I don't think they're looking at it that way. I think that's also a tool to say, you know what, we're going to be losing X amount of revenue right here. They're not making revenue off. You know what I mean? So I think that we holistically need all of the information possible, to be able to feel comfortable with making that decision. Because whatever decision the 5 of us up here make, we have to live with that. We have to face 40,000 residents and stand on that. And I just want to be confident and comfortable enough to stand on any decision that that we're making in the city. So that's the only reason why I'm asking. I know that this isn't a thing that we're voting on right now, but those are just questions that I have.
No, absolutely, Mayor. And with every negotiation, it came to us. The vice mayor and our city attorney were there, and it came back to us for Monday through Friday in perpetuity, and then we pushed back, and they came back, and we believe it's reasonable now. Unfortunately, we need that land because we don't have any other options. We could certainly look at some of the costs, but a lot of it would be like hypothetical because if there's no garage, I would have to tell you that our greatest concern would be the failure of what we're building there and what we're committing to with Lucky Fish and with the expansion of the quarter deck, the $1 million that we're investing in our pier, and people want to come to our beach. So yes.
If I can, I'll sit down with Frank and his staff and see if we can come up with something for you. I think it'll be very difficult on the numbers because basically talking about Hollywood has a certain number of parking passes, which means they can go to any beach in Hollywood for free.
Right.
So what percentage are going to come to us? And I don't know that we'll ever figure that out because right now, Monday through Friday, our parking lot is pretty empty. I guess I don't know that we'll be able to, but I'll try and sit down with him and see if we can actuarial it out.
Right.
Okay, and then I'll meet with both you and the city manager offline because I want to see what those stipulations are for this automatic renewal. And if that, I just want to holistically understand everything about it. Commissioner Davis?
Thank you. I just want to say for the record, I am in agreement with the vice mayor here on this and the city manager. The bottom line is that garage has got to be built. You can gather as much information, as much financial backing that you want to have for it. But at the end of the day, I believe that we have put so much into having a successful restaurant on a beachfront property. We have done so much to upgrade and elevate our beach that garage has got to be built, and we are in a position that we need to be good neighbors with Hollywood, and we need to cultivate that relationship with them. And at the end of the day, that we need to be in a position to trust our administration to do what they do, which is to negotiate on our behalf so that we are, moving our city forward. If we can't handle the traffic on the beach now, we are not going to be able to do it in the future. So I just want us to be really clear about what we're doing and how we're presenting this and how we're making this look overall, because I want Hollywood to know that I want to be a good neighbor and that we want to work with them to have their residents come to our beach, have their residents come to Lucky Fish. Our residents will go to Tiki Tiki. It can be a win-win if we approach it and do it the right way and trust our administration to do what they do best, which is to negotiate on our behalf. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Llewellyn?
Yes, thank you. So do I want to know how much money we'd be losing or the residents would be losing in revenue? Sure. Is it possible to determine that? I don't know that it's going to be possible because we're not going to necessarily know who's using the parking garage versus who's not. It is important though that we do have the parking garage there. The number one thing I keep hearing from people when they're talking about Lucky Fish coming in is where's everybody going to park? We already have a problem with the beach closing every weekend. Are we going to lose our spots at other parts of the parking lot? I mean, it's the number one question about parking. I'm actually happy to hear that Hollywood's even talking to us about this because we have lots of properties that Hollywood's got a piece right in the middle of it and we can't do anything with it. And this is one that fortunately they're willing to work with us on it. So I'm fine with it at this point. I had some hesitation before, and like I said, I would have been happy. I'm happy to find out if we can figure out a way to determine the financials. That would be great. But if we can't, let's make do with what we have and get the parking garage built.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I want to be clear on my tone because what I'm hearing, it sounds like I'm saying that no, tell Hollywood no. That's absolutely not what I'm saying. The last time we had this meeting and we addressed this, we all had concerns. We all just didn't listen to what was given to us. We all had input. And so that's going to continue to happen. I'm going to always have input. I'm going to always, want my questions answered. And that's my job. as an elected official here in this city, and I will continue to do so. Do we need a parking garage? Yeah, we need a parking garage. I don't think that is a question in anyone's mind, but I do want to make sure that I am comfortable enough with the information that I need in order to be able to. And I'm a great neighbor with Hollywood. I blurred those lines a long time ago. I have a great relationship with mostly all of the commissioners there. So if you're all watching this, this isn't a matter of, if the city of Dania Beach doesn't like you. Like this is business. This is what we do. They sit in meetings and they decide what's best for their residents. And it's our job to sit in these meetings and decide what's best for our residents in our city. And so, Eve, I'll speak with you and the city manager offline so I can thoroughly understand this.
Yes, ma'am.
And we'll move forward from that.
What we actually need from you, is consensus to be able to go back to Hollywood, to at least negotiate from what they're asking us, in regards to this.
This wasn't even on the agenda to speak on tonight, though.
Well, it sounds like we basically have a direction anyway from a majority of you talking, but we will work with the mayor on the terms because I'm in the midst of drafting that anyway. So absolutely, I will share it with all of you so you know what the proposed terms on the renewals are.
Not a problem. Meeting adjourned.